Talk Brunch.
All right, well, that was very interesting. We are here, ladies and gentlemen, right after UFC 229, just trying to absorb the details of what happened here, because there was a lot of chaos and drama. Like, yeah, it was pretty crazy. Probably one of the most unprofessional things that's happened in the company, aside from, ironically, the same two guys getting into shit with Conor and the bus and stuff, right?
Yeah, this was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so I'm here, Rick Dara, here with Destin Frazier. We're going to be going over, just quickly doing an overhaul of what happened at the end of that overview, rather, of what happened at that pay-per-view. So what are your thoughts on the event, the fight, everything?
I mean, let's start off with the good. The fight was pretty much kind of how I expected it. First of all, welcome back, Conor. I mean, Conor looked in fantastic shape. Even at the weigh-ins, he actually weighed a half-pound under, which tells you that he kept in shape the whole time he's been gone, which I know a lot of people thought, oh, he's just hanging around spending money. Like, no, the cat kept in shape. And I mean, he hung on for a long time. Like, he didn't go away quietly in this fight.
No, he did not. Yeah, it was definitely something else. I think we should probably talk about the fight before we get into the elephant in the room. That being said, shout out to Willie V2 Hacksaw, Blonde Shell out there. I see you guys in the chat already. This was spontaneous, so we didn't really schedule anything, so
Yeah.
appreciate anyone who's there. But for anyone who doesn't know, the finish was Conor loses. Khabib
A neck crank, not even a choke.
Well, it was sort of like, it was a rear naked choke in round 4.
Yeah, what it was, well, it was technically a rear naked choke, but what it is, instead of him having it around his neck, he actually had his forearm around his jaw, and he was actually turning his head to the side, so they actually call it a neck crank, because it's that slight difference. But yeah, I didn't expect him to submit Conor. I thought he was going to knock him out.
You thought that was going to be the end of it, huh?
Yeah, when I think it was the second round, he caught him with that right. I was like, oh, dude, that might be it. And then when he got him to the ground in that same round, I was sitting there waiting for Herb to stop that fight.
That was a bit concerning.
I mean, that showed why Herb's the best in the business. He made sure Conor could still go before he stopped anything.
And also because from our angle on TV, it looked really good, but he wasn't really laying in. A lot of those shots weren't connecting, and they weren't detrimental to Conor at the time, so there was no reason to stop it. He wasn't, like, when he got up, he wasn't like gassed or shook at all, you know? Like,
yeah, Conor was still intelligently defending himself that whole time.
Yeah, so that was really good. And then of course Khabib came in there with the strategic ground game, with locking the legs down on the ground, which the crowd definitely didn't like. Bad reaction from them, because they want to see some action. But his whole strategy was basically to try to wear Conor down there, and I don't know, it didn't really seem to work in my opinion. That wasn't really what did the end game, but it did help. I guess it contributed in some way.
Yeah, I mean, that's how Khabib has always been. He has the power, but Khabib likes to grind into guys. And I mean, I didn't see Conor get bone tired like he used to, which tells me he worked on his cardio. But I could see after about maybe that second round, it was starting to wear on him a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely was. Shout out to Amat 2000. Welcome, sir. And yeah, it was definitely tense, because I didn't know which way this was gonna go, to be honest with you. I think a lot of what we saw in there was pent up anger, which we're gonna get into when we get into the post-fight stuff, but there was definitely a lot of pent-up anger in there. Conor looked really good when he was standing, and aside from that one really good right hand that Khabib hit him with, there weren't really many places where he got rocked. Yeah,
Conor's always had a great stand-up game, though.
Yeah, I think part of the problem for me was that he kept going up against the cage. He kept giving Khabib center control, and as a result of that, he sort of took advantage of it.
Yeah, he gave Khabib way too much room. He should have done everything he could to make Khabib more uncomfortable, which you don't see too many guys do.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they needed to do something to work on the game plan for Conor's ground game a little bit more, because he really didn't seem to have anything to answer. As once he got to the ground, it was like, just let the time run out on the round.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Khabib's always had, like I said, world-class wrestling ability, and then add that to the fact that Conor has never been known for having the best ground game. But one thing that going into this fight, I used to tell a lot of people whenever they go, "Oh, Khabib's got the wrestling." Well, so did Chad Mendes, and that didn't help Chad Mendes at all. The wrestling isn't a death sentence. That's the thing, but the way Khabib uses his, I knew if Conor didn't have an answer by at least maybe that third round, he probably was not going to make it out of that fight.
Yeah, and I was thinking the same, because one thing we've seen in the past is Conor's cardio starts to diminish once you hit the middle of that third round. And unless he works on that significantly, what's really going to happen?
Exactly. Like, it's to the point where now the game plan is once you get about midway through the third round, it's yours. Like, that's sadly become kind of the game plan with Conor.
Yeah, it was definitely rough, and I know the fans were upset. They were really pissed off. So anything else about the details of the fight before we get into what happened in post?
I mean, it was the classic Khabib Nurmagomedov game plan. That's the reason this guy is now 27-0. But of course, we'll get to why 27 is exactly a good number in this case.
Shout out to Alma2000, who said in the chat room he was probably drinking the night before.
You know, it's so funny. Conor does have that new whiskey out. I can't for the life of me remember what it's called now, but Conor's been drinking a lot of that whiskey, which isn't the best thing to do before a fight.
No, definitely isn't. I noticed that there's that whiskey is in very, very high demand.
Yeah, it's a really from what I've heard, it's Conor put a lot into this. Apparently, he's been building this for a while, so a lot of people are going for it.
Yeah, really rough. So post-fight, there was a bunch of issues that happened, to say the least. Long story short, as soon as the fight was over and Conor tapped, Khabib sort of started talking shit to Conor's corner from inside the octagon. He was sort of hanging over the cage, and he started talking shit, and that elevated. I don't know if one of them provoked him or if this was just a choice that he made, but he climbs over and he sprints towards them. We don't really see, there's such a crowd of chaos after that. It just basically became a riot where it's like Khabib, I believe, winds up hitting someone from Conor's corner, and then
he hit him several times actually. Yeah,
and then they're all fighting out there, and in the meantime Conor's not doing anything. He's minding his business. He's standing in the ring, and one of Khabib's guys climbs the octagon, jumps in the ring, and punches Conor with a right hand from behind. He sucker punches him just out of nowhere. Like, Conor had nothing to do. It's a completely isolated area on the other side, outside of the octagon. This dude uses that opportunity to slip in and hit Conor, which yeah, that's definitely the most, not only is it unprofessional, but that's a bitch move to hit a fighter when he's not looking from behind. I want to know that guy. Like, I want to know the name of that guy, just so that it's public information as far as his Twitter, everything. Who is that motherfucker?
I don't even know who this little fuckboy pussy is. Like, dude, not only does he hit Conor from behind, he hit a Conor McGregor who had been fighting for, wait for it, 20 fucking minutes. Conor is tired by then.
There's no excuse. I mean, that's the most inexcusable thing I've ever seen, man. Like, someone.
You know what the sad part about it is? Even Khabib's not, because when looking at the footage, what happened, they were just jaw-jacking, and Khabib just darts over the cage and starts laying into this guy who has nothing to do with the fight.
Yeah, so here's what I can say about that, because I couldn't see, to be completely honest, and this just happened. By Monday, by the time we do the main podcast Monday at 11:30 p.m. Eastern time, there's a cheap plug there. By the time we do the main podcast, there'll be more information. But from what I saw, I just saw Khabib dart towards the crowd. I'm hearing from sources and from the reporters at Octagon side that there was an attack. But what I was thinking, and this is just giving the benefit of the doubt, playing devil's advocate until we have solid proof, which there might be already. It might be out there as we're doing this. I kind of thought maybe Khabib did what Conor did with Jose Aldo, and his intention was to climb over the octagon and get in his face, get in these guys' faces, and maybe they jumped the gun and swung first. I didn't see who swung first. I didn't see what happened, honestly. If you did, I don't know. But I question if Khabib's intentions were just to go out there, similar to how Conor did to Aldo, and I forget who Conor defeated, and then he climbed out and immediately went into Aldo's face. But maybe he was gonna take a cue from that, and he was gonna sort of repeat that. And they jumped the gun seeing him, and one of them swung first and it broke into a right is the only way it could be justified. If it's literally just that Khabib won, climbed the octagon, went out there and swung at somebody, he's in a lot of trouble. First of all, that's crazy. That's crazy, and it's stupid to do. Michael Bisping on the post program said that he had dignity and class the whole way, and then ruined it post fight. You know, and that's the part that really sucks. You know, and that's what I meant when I was saying that there was a lot of pent up anger from all of the restraint that he was showing. If you go back and watch all of those face-offs and the weigh-ins and everything, Khabib showed an unusual amount of restraint, and you see Conor even saying them some blue lips, because Khabib's holding his mouth closed so shut that he's stopping the blood flow of his lips, and Conor picked up on it when they were facing each other, you know. So this guy is like really holding restraint. There was a point where his coach told him, don't do anything stupid, and I think that was just a lot of pent-up anger from those blue lips, you know, that caused him to go out there and just want to swing wild. And as far as if it turns out that this man swung first without any type of provocation, he could be stripped, he could be fined, he could have his visa revoked. He's not a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, I mean, now from the angle that I saw it, and this is just because I know you brought the thing with Jose Aldo, which is actually the same thing I thought of, but there's one big difference in it. When Conor did that with the Jose Aldo stuff, you notice one thing: Conor stopped at the outside floor of the cage, that little was like a couple of feet wide area where the coaches can stand on when they're coaching their fighters and everything. Conor stopped there. Now the speed that Khabib got there, it's like if somebody had to have swung, they had to have been swinging when Khabib was on the way down. Which, if that's the case, that's jumping the gun on top of that, because it's like you never know, could be panning to the ground or whatever. But the thing that bothers me about it so much, I perfectly understand the whole pent up anger, but it's like with all those shots he's landing in, like you telling me you can't get all that anger out in 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Now
exactly.
I'm not saying Conor's a saint, because we all talk about the whole thing that happened on the bus, but it's crazy that Conor was just minding his own business. Conor was sitting there watching it happen. Conor could have easily hopped that rail and got up in Khabib's shit. Yeah. But he sat there, he kept himself cool, and then this little pint-sized fuckboy comes over the rail and he punched Conor like 3 or 4 times.
So according to Hacksaw in the podcast chat room, he's saying that there's 3 arrests so far. I want to take a minute and read both chat rooms. So he says 3 arrests so far. Over in the even over in our mixer, Toy Soldier Ken, shout out to him joining us. He said whoever is talking trash about Khabib and his people are hypocrites. Conor threw a hand truck in the bus, injuring 3 people. Take that effing L and shut the hell up, hypocrites. You could curse in here, man. We're 18 plus, but they should and they said Ahmad said they should take the belt off of him, and Toy Soldier Ken said why? He won fair and square. He did test positive for drugs. Nope. Y'all talking about Jose Aldo. How about that bus? And yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Like, look, they didn't, as far as the belt goes, because I know you guys are asking about the belt and everything. Bisping said, like, you know, it was a matter of class and dignity that was lost there. They didn't award him the belt in the ring, and it's because Dana was saying, and they cut him off, I guess the mic, I don't know if it was intentional, but Dana was saying, if I put this title on you now, people are gonna, and then literally the mic just cuts off, and it looked like Dana was cursing just from lip reading him a little bit.
Yeah.
And it looked like people are gonna fucking, well, I don't know, but whatever he told him, and I think he's right, because keep in mind, okay, that this is a crowd, you know, this is a crowd of a bunch of Irish and Pakistani people, right?
Yeah, it was a mix of crowds from both sides.
Shit, you know what? Like that's a nightmare right there. So he doesn't want to do it, and they went off the air abruptly, which is why we're here, because we weren't even planning. Normally we plan to do certain post shows. This wasn't one of them, but they went off the air abruptly, left everyone in chaos. If anyone in the chat room, if you have any information since that happened, I know Hacks already said that there were 3 arrests, but see what else you can find out, because that's crazy. Like I said, I wanted to jump on here as quick as possible.
Yeah, and see, the one thing, well, it is, it's not that, we're not ignoring the thing that happened on the bus, but the thing about it is, we addressed the thing that happened on the bus when it happened.
And Toy Soldier can, yeah, as far as the class and dignity, you know, because he insulted his family, dude, this is his moment. He already got revenge by winning and tapping him out. He's supposed to stand in the ring with his title now. It couldn't be a worse decision, regardless of what happened, to climb out of the octagon and allegedly attack someone. Again, I don't know exactly what happened because Khabib sounded like he was trying to defend himself afterwards. I almost feel like maybe he was saying I wasn't going to do anything, but then they swung on me. I don't know. We have to go look. But again, at the same time, you got to really look at this objectively. Like, that's a bad move. If he swung, if his intention turns out to be that he was going to do just like Conor and just climb out there, and they fired the gun first, then that's a problem.
Yeah, and then even on that, if it goes the case of who was going to fire the first shot, still don't excuse jumping a tired Conor McGregor from behind when Conor's sitting there doing nothing. There's no way to justify that.
No, there really isn't. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said Russian. I said Pakistan. There's Russians and I don't know what the fuck. There's Russians in this.
Hey, we talk about some Khabib looking bad.
There's the. Thank you, man. Thank you for pointing that out. I don't know where the hell my head is right now.
It's late, guys. It's been a long night. Okay.
Yeah, Jesus. We weren't planning this, man. There aren't even notes for this. We're just shooting.
We're just shooting the shit. But
yeah, he said they were gonna. Almond said he said they were gonna throw shit in the ring if they gave him the belt, and that's true.
Yeah,
you know,
they were probably gonna do worse than that. That was the best case scenario.
Man, that looks really bad on the sport, though.
That hurts the sport no matter what.
And he's hailing from Dagestan, not
Dagestan. Oh, okay. So, yeah, because I mean that's like, it doesn't matter who was in the right, who was in the wrong. The UFC's been fighting for a quarter of a century to not be known as just some thuggish cockfighting ring. That moment right there, backpedal that I don't know how many years, because how many people do you think this was their first UFC event and they see it end like that?
I think it was all good for the sport. Bianca's gonna be on here with us Monday. Obviously, she said she feels that was fake drama, which I disagree with. I don't think that was too crazy. Like, can you imagine if they just decided that it was gonna be a work? Oh, at the end, no matter who wins, there's gonna be some sort of work. I don't that was fake drama. Saw those shots land, Bianca. Yeah, ain't nothing fake about this. Like, you gotta separate it from the pro wrestling. This is a whole different freaking ball game. Yeah, exactly.
Like, these two hate each other. You can't fake that kind of hate.
That is, to me, like I said, that to me is one of the most terrifying things about the entire thing. That just the fact that he was able to do that, you know, just the fact that they were able to like I said before, and listen, I'm gonna say this. Even though it was enough publicity and chaos that, for example, Bianca and others might think that it's a work because that's how much heat they got from doing that. That being said, I don't feel that anything there is terrible that happened. If anything, it's going to bring more attention to this event and to MMA in general. However, the punch is the one thing. That sucker punch is the one thing to me that makes it really, really bad. Like, that doesn't look good on that guy. I'm assuming he's one of the guys that got arrested. That's assault right there. Shout out to Sleeping Ninja. I would think so. Shout out to Sleeping Ninja. Hope you get your brunchables back, man.
And of course, I also have a tweet from UFC Hall of Famer, the Iceman Chuck Liddell. It says, incredible performance by both fighters at Notorious MMA and at Khabib Nurmagomedov. But to end it like they did was a huge embarrassment to the sport. We fighters are sportsmen and champions, and we should hold ourselves to a higher standard. We owe it to the fans and to the sport ourselves. I don't know when things started turning into some kind of shit show. Unfortunately, when you allow more and more BS during weigh-ins and outside of fights, you only slap fighters on the wrist for acting like barbarians, and then offer them bigger contracts and reward them for this behavior. There is no penalty for their actions, and it condones this type of behavior, and consequently our sport loses its sacred respect. Hashtag respect, hashtag honor, hashtag martial arts, hashtag champion, hashtag golden boy promotions, hashtag time have changed, hashtag sportsmanship, and hashtag what a shame.
Yeah. Now, yeah, that's pretty classy. Now, Ahmad, as far as the whether or not there'll be a rematch and Toy Soldier says O'Connor can lose again, sure, I'd love to win some more money. Let's win some money. But you know what, man? It wasn't exactly that cut and dry. There's no reason. not to have a rematch. Aside from the drama afterwards that'll get them in trouble and one of them possibly deported, there's no reason not to have a rematch. It's not like Khabib won that clean cut with no type of effort. It could have gone. There were points in that match where it could have gone either way. I don't feel like he just completely dominated Conor. Like, sure, he was better on the ground. He wasn't better standing though. There's no reason why Conor can't just work on his ground game a little bit more, work on his cardio more, and come back stronger. Honestly, that's more likely than anything. I mean, he came back from Diaz on a different weight.
Yeah, it's crazy that all this happened after what was a really good fight and a really good event overall, which of course, like we said, we're going to get into the other. Actually, it looks like I just got confirmation. Dana White is reporting that 3 of Khabib's teammates have been taken to jail. So it's definitely 3 people on Khabib's end.
Oh, I see what you're saying, because now we know exactly who it is. Yeah, no, Conor didn't do anything, so he shouldn't have anything taken away.
Conor didn't do anything
I kind of feel like Khabib screwed himself, though, in the sense that he was that moment when that broke out, the only thing that was going to happen was Conor was going to have to eat a piece of humble pie. And this takes away the attention of that win and what this means and the way that he was able to win and the strategy he went in there with. No one's talking about the fact that after all that shit talking that Conor did, that Khabib went in there with his old school UFC tactics and won. No one's talking about that tonight. Everyone instead talking about the riot, and that sucks because in a way he took attention away from his own victory, and it kind of is more in favor of Conor. Now, you know, there's more attention towards that. It's like he the best thing he could have done was not do that.
Yeah, like exactly like Bianca mentioned, like it being fake publicity. What fake publicity would take away from the fact that Khabib Nurmagomedov is 27-0. He is only the 2nd man in the UFC to beat Conor. He tapped Conor out and is basically the undisputed king of the lightweights. No fake publicity would be dumb enough to take that away from him. Even the thing with the Brock Lesnar and Daniel Cormier thing, that didn't take anything away from Daniel Cormier's win. This thing that happened completely overshadowed the fact that Khabib won.
Yeah, and I heard rumors of Dana saying something like it'll be a long time for Khabib to fight in the UFC again, if ever, which would be crazy. Because what are you saying? If he said that, I don't know. This all again happened in a flash. You guys know normally on Mondays we're thorough and we'll have like the full details objectively of everything and whole side, but it literally just exploded onto the scene, and now here we are trying to piece it together. If anyone has more information, feel free to drop it in the chat rooms or send it into our social media for the big Monday show. But yeah, again, just wanted to come on here and just discuss what we know now, because that is something else, and it is very crazy that it got that personal. And that it went, and then it was taken to that extent, and that it was done by Khabib's side, you know?
Right, like that's something you would expect from like Conor. Conor did nothing.
Yeah, in that one instance, Conor did nothing. Let's not act like he's by any means an angel.
Oh yeah, not at all. Conor's never been a saint. Conor's always been a bit of a troublemaker, but in this one case, like Conor literally did. Even when Khabib got the win, you could see Khabib was still trying to go at him, and it's like, dude, you won. Like, Conor can't say anything about you ever again because you not only beat him, you made him quit. That's like insult to injury beyond anything, to make somebody literally break somebody's will in a fight.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm still processing all of this, guys. I'm sorry if it's a little bit scatterbrained, but man, I did not expect that to happen, and it just didn't look good for anyone to think that this was something that they did intentionally. It's not like, I feel it would have been more organized if it was intentional. Like the Brock Lesnar Cormier thing seemed more like it was scripted than something where everyone's swinging like that. A random dude that doesn't mean shit comes and hits Conor, you know? It's like that's not scripted. And then you forget, it's too stupid to be scripted.
I was gonna say, and then on top of that, so what, that guy who threw the trash when Khabib was getting escorted out, was that guy a plant? Like, is this WWE where we put plants in the crowd? Like, no.
Yeah, they said that Stasis in the chat said that they said that Khabib could get a fine and not be allowed back for years.
Yeah, like Khabib might have just screwed himself.
So 3 arrests from Khabib's camp. You know, you got to ask yourself, the 3 arrests from Khabib's camp, are they citizens? Because if not, they could be looking at the same thing. He could have lost half his camp.
Yeah, Khabib might have just screwed his entire career.
We have to find out the most important thing, and I think this is more important than any other detail, is exactly what happened when he climbed out of the ring. If it's confirmed
that's the key thing.
If it's confirmed without a shadow of a doubt that he swung first, then there is a huge problem. And yeah, he's probably in deep shit.
The sad part about it is either way, the fact that he basically laid it on a guy who wasn't actually in his opponent in the fight, that's getting them in trouble regardless. But definitely the fact whether he swung first or not is going to be another huge factor in it.
And shout out to Scorpion 17. Welcome. Man, well, we're gonna find out by Monday for sure.
Yeah, still plenty of time by then.
No, see, Toy Soldier, you're being a bit biased because you're saying should Khabib shake hands with someone who insulted his family? No, but he also shouldn't go. Assuming he did, he also shouldn't climb the octagon and attack random people. Not because of any UFC rules, but just because of United States rules. You know, criminal rules. Laws. Like you should never climb out and attack someone from anything. You know what I mean? Regardless of if they offend your family or not. If you attack someone who offend your family anywhere in the United States, you're going to jail. So that's the reason you don't do it. That doesn't mean it's correct for Conor to offend his family whatsoever. But at the end of a fight where you won, you already proved your point. You proved you were the better man. You showed class throughout the entire thing, and now you beat the guy who was talking all the shit. That would have been really, really classy if they would have had their post-victory speech and then walked away.
I mean, actually, now I think about it, I can't believe I'm just now thinking about it. Look at a prime example of somebody taking that kind of a jab. Remember how Chael Sonnen went after Anderson Silva's entire country, his family? Anderson didn't jump the cage.
Exactly.
Anderson just beat his ass and then walked away.
That's what you're supposed to do, like a man. And you're saying
you handle it when it matters.
And you're saying Conor's camp started the whole mess and Khabib's camp handled it. They didn't handle anything. They handled themselves. They could all be gone. They could all be gone after this. And then Conor wins.
And guess who's still going to be here? Conor.
Yeah, exactly. And then Conor will still be there strutting. It was one loss. You know what I mean? It didn't hurt him at all.
Khabib still walked away the champion. That's the thing that matters above everything else. Khabib walked away as champion.
And Almut said that Khabib's team started. If you're talking about with the initial shit talking, didn't Khabib's team initially corner one of Conor's people somewhere in a hotel?
Yeah, I think Artem Lobin. I keep pronounce his name, but yeah, it happened maybe almost a year ago, I think.
Yeah, that's what started the whole thing. That's what caused Conor to come. Conor, the thing he did with the bus, which by no means was justified, that was in retaliation. That was in retaliation to what these guys initially did. And thank you for reminding me of that, Almut.
That's somebody that's a teammate that Conor is extremely close with.
It's unbelievable. No one's right in this. I'm not condoning either side, but we're just talking about the consequences of this being done on camera. If it turns out that Khabib climbed the octagon and attacked someone in the crowd, you have no idea how much trouble he's in if it happened that cut and dry. If it literally looks like they saw him coming and they swung first before he did anything, he can always claim, which I believe, I wasn't going to do anything. I was just going to get in their face, and they swung thinking I was going to attack, which the penalty will be less severe. Nonetheless, it still will have to have some severity because it caused that to happen.
And then also we got to thank the guys on the commentary. Look, we gotta think their reaction was pretty intense. Was that a reaction of, oh god, Khabib's going for this guy, or was this action of he swung first, we see where this is going? There's a lot of people that were right there and saw it. We have to hear it from them.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man.
Yeah, it fucking sucks that like this great night had to end. Because I remember you messaged me earlier in the day and I was like, dude, this card is fucking stacked. And it was like, yeah.
Yeah, so no, but Conor's camp didn't start with action, Ken. It was freaking Khabib that cornered that guy and save game matters. What's up, sure, sir? How you doing? Save gem matters.
I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like Conor's always been known for his trash talk. He's always been known for just taking his jabs here and there.
Almost a Khabib. No, you can't say that. No.
Yeah, it's like Conor's always been known for his trash. We know from watching Conor for years. Conor's always been known for his trash talk, taking his jabs, doing things of that nature. Conor's never cornered somebody and done some shit like that.
Savage said he was at the fight when it happened. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he was at the fight. Yeah, do you see anything special? Any details you got from your angle over there? And yeah, at the end of the day, they didn't attack that guy, but they did start it. You said who started it. We didn't say who attacked first. No different than this situation.
Because this has been building for at least a couple of years.
Oh man, it is rough.
Fucking nuts, man.
Well, either way, the
sad part is it's not over.
Either way, this isn't about our belief, your belief, or even the UFC's belief. At the end of the day, this is about the cops' belief. And if the cops' belief is that Khabib's going overseas,
you know what? You just made the list.
Then that's what's happening.
No! Here we go.
Thank you for the follow, Savage Matters.
Thank you.
I don't know why I got that wrong before. It's Savage Matters. The hell's wrong with
me? You know what it is? Because it's 2 a.m. We expect to be here. We didn't plan for this energy-wise.
Yeah. But any other opinions while we're here? Let me look at the podcast chat while we're here. Yeah, not really.
God. It's crazy. I've been, like I said before.
That thing, Alma, that's a bit far. Don't say anything like that. But the other stuff,
you gotta keep it classy.
Yeah, the other stuff is just objectively saying it's a matter of what the cops are going to do, what the judge, if there's a judge. I mean, there's already 3 arrests. They're gonna have to. Khabib's gonna go into court, even if it's not for him.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like it's just, it's crazy. Like I've been, like I said before, I've been a UFC fan since probably about 2004. Never seen anything like this.
Yeah. It's rough, guys. It's really rough.
Rough and unfortunate.
He says Savage Matter says he got kind of scared because he was near Lewis when it happened. Well, there's gonna be news soon in regards to what they're gonna do, so get ready to look into all of that.
Nobody's calling him a.
Yeah, we're not even gonna go into that. We're not gonna go into that. That's chuffa. That's banter. That's all alleged crap that we're not doing here. We're just objectively reporting facts. You know, you guys gotta stop taking it that personally though. Between these guys, you know, don't become like them. There's gonna be like a riot in the chat room next.
Oh God, and we ain't got no cops in there, so.
Yeah, shout out to Uncle Boggs. Welcome, sir. All right, well, I'll use the next couple of minutes to just let you guys discuss it amongst yourself before we wrap up here. See if any other news breaks. If you want, Destin, check the website, see if there's anything else going on.
Yeah, I'll see if I can keep an eye on
Hacksaw asked in the podcast room if the UFC is gonna go now and completely clean up PG. I don't.
Oh my God.
Hopefully not. I don't think so. I mean, there's definitely going to have to be some changes as a result of this. But yeah, you're right, Savage Matters. Khabib could be stripped of his belt and yeah, they could take him out of here forever.
It could get bad.
Yeah, so they're going to have to figure something out as far as this. He could go and fight elsewhere, but where's he going to really get that? What's he going to do? Go fight at Bellator?
Right, and it's not like Bellator is not gonna know this happened. Like this is like, you gotta remember, this is the UFC. This ain't like a bottom league MMA. Like this is the UFC. The freaking the tagline for this fight was "The world is watching."
Is this? I'm not even sure, but is this something that the State Athletic Commission would wind up getting involved in? Because if they do, if they have that kind of power. You know, if that's in their jurisdiction, which I'm not sure if it is. I've only known them for getting people getting popped by drug. But if that is, then he won't be able to do anything. And if he gets deported, then that's the end of that. You got to remember that he's here on visa. If he gets deported, then that's the end of any of this. He'll go fight somewhere else. He's gonna fight somewhere else over back in Russia.
Yeah, he's not gonna be fighting in America.
Yeah, he would be ruined. You got to be really careful. You have to be really careful about this. This is a sensitive thing. And don't worry, because on Monday we're going to be here, and by then we'll know what's going to happen, and we'll see if you're right or if we're right or who's right. But this could go really bad for him. So, yeah, you can't look at this as, oh, no big deal, it's just the UFC. You have to look at this more as he might be gone. You know, and
yeah, I mean, there's a reason those guys throw those gloves on, those shorts, and walk out to that cage, because you handle it in the cage.
And yeah, Savage, you're right. Either way, there's going to be a repercussion. No one's going to just turn the other way and not look at this. If Conor fucking McGregor, as big of that name is, had to go to court in Brooklyn, you know what I mean? Then you bet your ass that Khabib is going to be held to the most highest level of accountability for this. There's just no way not to do it. This is happening. Make peace with it. We just don't know what it's going to be exactly.
Yeah, it's disgraceful.
Yeah, like you said, John Bone Jones has a big house, but he could have seriously hurt someone. He had to be accountable for that. No one's bigger than the sport. You know, he could just be gone.
I know. The UFC was here long before Khabib showed up. It's not like him showing up would kill the sport.
Yeah, no, you know exactly. He did put his head in his hands. He looks like he realized he made a big mistake. He realized that you guys have no idea. Oh my God.
Like whatever happens, the hammer is getting dropped.
And no, to answer your question, Hack, so I don't believe UFC actually loses a lot of money if he leaves. If you were to look at the purses for this fight, I'm sure Conor's making like 4 or 5 times what Khabib is making.
I believe it comes out to around, I think Conor made like 3 mil. I think Khabib's making 2.
Yeah, and Conor's the bigger draw. So, I mean, it would actually hurt UFC more if Conor would have been the one to do it. Even if Conor losing, look at Chael Sonnen. This isn't about wins and losses when it comes to the popularity. This is about charisma. Chael Sonnen has lost a whole lot of fights, but because he's such a good shit talker, he keeps coming back, and he's a bigger draw than a lot of his opponents. That's sort of where Conor is on top of being a talented fighter, where Khabib is interesting, he's fun, he puts the hat on Rogan and all that shit, but at the end of the day, he was just never as big of a draw. So, you know.
A lot of the draw for this fight was the fact that it was Conor coming back.
And Conor is Dana's favorite.
Yeah, Conor loves the fact that Dana makes some money. It's just...
No, this isn't wishful thinking, because I like Khabib and I like Conor. Why the hell would I want anything? If anything, I want a rematch. If this would be terrible if this happens, because we're not going to get the inevitable rematch that would definitely happen if this doesn't go down. But I'm just saying it doesn't look good.
Yeah, like if this didn't go down, we were probably going to get Khabib Conor too. But now, because of this happened, it's like, we're probably not getting this again.
Yeah. All right, then. Anything else before we wrap up here?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've said about all we can say with what we know now. Of course, obviously, we'll get to the rest of what was a great card on Monday, so...
Yeah, so...
see what happens.
Yeah, guys, if you want, hit that follow button, and on Monday, myself, Destin, Jen... Bianca and the whole gang will be here, and by then we'll have more information and we'll have time to actually do the long regular show.
Chip, you know what? You just made the list. Oh no. Oh, here we go.
Thank you for the follow, Alma 2000.
Thank you.
And also Toy Soldier
Chip, you know what? You just made the list. Oh no. Oh, here we go.
And yeah, Monday, our show, if you're new here, Monday, our show's 3 to 4 hours. We talk more than just MMA. We're going to be talking about wrestling and pop culture stuff, gaming releases, all kinds of stuff. But we are going to have a big focus on the MMA after this broke out. So yeah, get ready. The whole gang will be here. And it's going to be fun. Let's read these last comments before we get out of here. So Savage Matter said, Conor, because he's a big trash talker, will step out of line to get more money and paper entertainment. He will do that, which makes him one of Dana's biggest favorites. Yeah, it's all about the money. It's all about the money. All right, guys, we might be back actually in a little while just to try to run some of the new 2K19 game and see how that runs. We'll play something. We're gonna do some sort of a nocturnal stream, maybe see if we could get some of the girls on here and join us. So just give us a little while to just recharge our fuel after all of this, and we'll be back. And if not, we will see you on Monday for the main show.
Actually, tomorrow for whatever we're doing for narrative. So.
Oh yeah, also game night tomorrow. So see you then, guys.
Yep. Later, guys.
All right, guys, you've just listened to the Talk Brunch second serving. For more content, including full episodes, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and show us some love on Facebook. Talk Brunch, now served on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, and SoundCloud. TalkBrunch.com. Served hot.